How everybody doing, man? It's your boy out at Shropshire. You already know me as the Empower Outreach Coordinator. We out here tonight, man. We at this thing called Black Fridays. Keely Jackson, yes, it's Keely Jackson. She's one of the ones that help orchestrate this Black Fridays. We're in Miller Park, downtown Chattanooga. My boy D. Scott down here. Man, he just got off keynote speaking. Everybody knows him, big homie D. Scott.
Yeah, so we down here at the Black Friday, down here at the Miller Park. I just want to thank them for asking me to come out and kind of share my story, man. I feel like the audience connected with it. My thing is, you know, I had to really tell them, man, it's about supply and demand, understanding yourself, man. The transition is real. You can't make a transition, you know what I'm saying, but you got to want to do it. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it boils down to working hard, perseverance, you know what I'm saying, that adaptability piece to like humbling yourself, because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, you got to be the person that you need to be to move to the next level. That's how I look at that, you know what I'm saying? So, and sometimes it ain't going to be comfortable. It ain't going to always be in your favor, but you got to make it happen, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to thank Lil Mo Films, man, my homeboy Allen, you know what I'm saying, the Black Friday's crew.
Yes, sir, you know what I'm saying? It's love right here,
Come
man.
on down to the Chattanooga Club, you know how we do it.
Yes, sir. Hey, business mogul, man. Y'all just heard it firstly, man. Like me and Mo, we talk about it all the time, man. We took it from the streets, man. We took it real corporate, man, major, man. We trying to set trends for our city, man. We trying to show these young brothers and sisters, man, that we very innovative and we can do whatever we put our minds to. Like I said earlier, you just seen it with your eyes, man. That man's story is powerful, man. And those in the city, if the city looking at this, you know who D. Scott is, man. And that man did his thing, and you know, we out. Miss Demetrius Coonrod. Everybody should know who that is. Councilman Lady Coonrod. Say something for us.
What's up? It's your girl, Councilwoman Demetrius Coonrod. We know me as Michi in the community, but we're just out here making sure that we spread the love for Black economics, Black empowerment, because we remember through our history what this says, what Black Friday used to be when we was on the auction block, right? They were selling us and making a profit. So what we're going to do here at Miller Park tonight is turn that around, and what they thought that was going to be for our bad or our demise, we want to make sure we're capitalizing on that. And so now we're making money, we're empowering our communities, we're making sure we're standing on that block that it's empowerment to our people. Y'all come out. If you missed it this time, you can be here April the 19th. Bring your family and friends, set up your fish fry stations if you have to, and we're ready to turn up. And most definitely we want to shout out Lil Mo Films that's down here doing his thing. So if you need anybody for him to come do videography for you all, then make sure you reach out to Lil Mo.
Come on. So look, man, y'all see me rocking the original, man. It's never accepting list, man. Never accepting list, man. But we finna show you a Black entrepreneur, man. A Black brother, man, that's creative, man, innovative, man. We got a real testimony of weight loss, man, all the above, man. My brother-in-law, Ian Sullivan, man.
140 pounds down. This is the brand, me and my wife. Always be original, never accept less. It's a movement. Original Fridays is what we do every Friday. Speaks volume to being who you are. Never let anybody change you. Always be original, never accept less. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and once again, man, we out here again at Black Friday, man. Man, we got a young, oh my God, when I met this young brother, he go to Brighton High School, man. This young brother is a junior at Brighton High School, y'all. This is what he gave me. You see that? I gave him my car, but he gave me this. You see what I'm saying? That right there did something to me, man. I want y'all to meet this young brother right here, man. This young brother has a hustle clothing line. I want him to talk about his clothing line.
Hey, how you doing? I'm REX here. You know, I started the clothing line not too long ago. You know, I'm raising money for it. I'm making it happen, and I'm getting all kinds of support from awesome people like my man's right here, and a lot more, man. I really appreciate the love and all the care, man.
What you selling, man? Show them what you got.
I'm selling chips, candy, and drinks to raise money for my clothing line. These are just two samples of what they may look like, and I'm grabbing data from the community, and I'm gonna reach back out to the community when everything is finished with.
And tell them how old you is.
I'm 16 years old.
And what school you go to?
I go to Brainerd High School.
Oh, bro, hold on, I gotta do this just for the camera. See, now my man, he China, but you know, it's PHS all the way, man. You see what we building over here.
It's all good, man.
PHS, man.
That's it.
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Back again, man. We at Black Fridays, man. We are with the one and only Miss Keely Jackson. And this lady right here, she's so innovative. She's a master creator. That title just right there just get me, man. Like if you think about being a creator, this lady right here put something together. It's amazing. So I want her to talk about what made her come up with this.
Okay. All right, I'm Keely Jackson, also known as the Master Creative, and I want to give a shout out to Lil Mo Films. We appreciate you doing your thing in the community. First of all, let me tell you, thank you again for being one of our speakers. I cannot take complete credit for this. This is the brainchild of Kanika Wellington Jones. She was the creator and the founder of the Black Fridays group, but I am the entertainment director. And so I did actually curate the show, and I just wanted to make sure that people had entertainment and education. We're here to uplift the community, and we're here for love and unity within the Black community. And so I just wanted to make sure that everybody had a good time. And like I said, thank you for coming, and I'm just here to serve. I'm here as a vessel.
Thank you. I love that. I love to talk about that. Y'all hear me say it a lot, bro. You already know I talk about being a vessel, man. That's what I'm here for, man. Serve David. And I love to be able to work with sisters like this anytime.
My next keynote speaker is a community leader. So once again, I just ask you all to be respectful. I ask for you all to just listen with your hearts and with your ears as he provides some economic development information. Give it up for Mr. Alan Shropshire.
Oh my God, I appreciate everybody. I appreciate being here. Thank you, Ms. Keely. Thank you, Black Fridays. But today and tonight, I would like to talk about being original. I'm gonna give a shout out to my brother-in-law. He created this clothing line, original, but the NAL stands for Never Accepting Less. So my story tonight is talking about never accepting less. In our communities, we tend to seem to always accept whatever anybody give us, but I'm gonna tell you tonight, my stories, I ain't accepting that. Remember that. Like she said, I grew up in the Avondale area. If you all don't know, the Avondale area is considered the one of the most poorest areas in the city of Chattanooga, which is the 37406 area code. So if you know, in most poverty areas, we don't have a lack of food, so a food desert. We don't have a lack of transportation, gang violence, all the above, lack of community support, all the above. But I grew up what we would call a 3 to 4 generation household. So you have my granny, her siblings, then their kids, and then their kids, all in one household. But we had family. I didn't grow up bad, but I was one of those kids what everybody called me, my granny would call me Al B. So Al B stand for not the singer, but Al B should do everything they told me not to do. I was that kid. If you said it was hot, I'm touching it because it's hot, I want to see it. You could tell me something, but I had to find out for myself. So that's what kind of triggered a lot of stuff in my life. But my family structure was good. We went to church, we did everything like most families do. But the only difference was when we went to go eat, we stood in the line, assembly line, we did everything orderly and structured. So that's kind of where my life was raised, so order and structure. But to go back, I didn't grow up with my biological father. See, I'm not afraid to admit my real father was on drugs all my life. So that kind of trickled my mindset to, man, my father ain't in my life. I had somebody to raise me, but I chose to do what I wanted to do. So growing up, I wanted to go to schools like Orchard Knob. I wanted to go to schools like Delwood, which is the inner city schools. At the time of my life, I thought it was cool. But my mom, being the person she is, she's like, nah, you're not going to none of those schools. I'm gonna make you catch this Carter bus and you gonna go all the way out here to Rivermont. I'm like, Carter bus? Rivermont? Really? So I used to catch the Carter bus. I was probably in elementary school catching a Carter bus every day by myself. I knew how to transfer, I knew how to take the Carter bus all the way out to Hickson, get off the bus and go to school every day. But it was a better education. What I learned was that I was around people that didn't look like me. So a lot of my friends, they going home, they got parents, they got both of their parents, they might have the new Nintendos, the new shoes. Me personally, I had what we could get. So growing up, a lot of times I might have got joked at, but my family structure, it didn't matter. We joked and joked all the time, so it didn't bother me. But once I started getting older, what I started doing was I started seeing all the influence around my community that everybody was selling drugs, smoking. I thought that was the life. So I'm like, well, OG over here, he making money. One of the guys that actually spoke to y'all, D. Scott himself, like I looked up to cats like that. D. Scott in our community was like a mogul. This guy he get the clubs going. Everybody wanted to go to the Whole Note. I know y'all know about the Whole Note. Everybody wanted to go to the Whole Note, the Bay, all those different places. As a kid, I'm like, I'm going too. You can't tell me I can't go. So I connect with cats like that. I'm like, man, I need them passes. He's like, well, where the money? I got a pocket full of money, so I want them passes. So I used to go to the community, sell the passes. So that started my hustle right there. But I didn't see it like that. I'm like, man, I'm just trying to go turn up and have fun with my friends. But what I started doing was then realizing that I kept on getting into the streets. I was doing good in school. Didn't have to do any of that, but I kept getting in the streets. Only because it was my wants. It had nothing to do with what I needed. All of my needs was taken care of. I wanted new shoes. I wanted nice clothes. So I'm like, I'm gonna go out here and do whatever it takes to get it. You know, my mom and dad worked hard for everything we had. What most people consider where we stayed was in the Brandon area. It was nice, but to me, we struggled. So we did what we could to get what we want. So me being who I am, I went out here every day. I admit I head first in the streets. I tell people there's no way that you can just partially be in it. When I say head first, I'm the type of person I was taking chances. I'm traveling up and down the highway. I wasn't standing on nobody's corner. I'm doing what I do. On the corner I stand on in front of my neighborhood and my house. Other than that, I'm not on nobody's corner. But all that did was led to a role of going to jail. And going to jail, I don't matter if you're a felon or not, once you get in the system, you in the system. It's hard to get a job, it's hard to move forward, so all of that stuff started going on in my life. But at the time, I got a job, I got skill sets, so I learned how to drive a forklift, I learned how to be a machine operator. That was all cool, but for years, I did it maybe 4 or 5 years, I'm like, I'm not making no money for myself. I'm making money, but I never grow in this company. I never own this company. This company is gonna always benefit with or without me. So I had to start seeing that, so I'm like, man, this ain't what I want. So long story short, I let that go. End up still back in the streets. Learned that I could be able to learn to do stuff that I like to do. So at the time, I'm like, well, I'm gonna work with kids. So I became a counselor. So at the time, I worked for Hopefoot in the city. I really too much didn't care to do any of that, what they wanted me to do. But what I started doing was learning who I was. I took a class called Jobs for Life. It was job readiness, taught me resume skills, interviewing skills. I didn't really take it too serious until I graduated. And then before you know it, they hired me. So that was another step of me transformed from something that I was doing, and I ended up taking over on it. So they hired me. I ended up being the person taking the class, and then I ended up teaching the class. And I ended up being a recruiter. So I talk to a lot of people in the community, in my community, and I know a lot of people, they feel like, well, we don't have this, we don't have that. But one thing about it is, I'm one person, I believe in this. Whatever you put your mind, whatever you put your mind to, you can do it. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. To any kids, adults, whatever, it is never too late. One thing about me is, like I said, I never sell less. So I was working for this organization for maybe 2 to 3 or 4 years, doing my thing with them, taking people up and down the highway to jobs, all the way in Edgewater, Tennessee, doing jobs, during the time when they was doing the demolition for the Harriet Tubman site, AKA Boone Height. I was helping people get hired on with the companies and all these different things. I was teaching them how to be able to sell themselves. And that was working good for a minute, but I'm like, nah, this ain't gonna get it. So I went right back to the streets like I know. From that, after the streets, I found this place called the Camp House. Now I have a good friend called Chris Woodhall. We have a business called Build Me a World. I'm also a recruiter for Build Me a World. What Build Me a World is to sit you down and to teach you, and to try woman and teach you about your mental. So what it is the group of brothers and sisters, we sit down, similar like-minded. You might have business people, but we get in the circle, and what you have to learn to do is learn about what you done in your life and yourself. So one thing I started learning is that all the mistakes that I made, it wasn't because somebody told me to do it. I did it because I wanted to. And that goes back to Al B. Al B do whatever he want to do. So I went living in my full potential, right? So through all of that, I can tell you, Chris Woodhall, he took me on his wing. We used to talk for maybe 3 to 4 years. I didn't realize that he became a mentor and a good friend. Outside of that, I met my boy Lil Mo. He's here recording my Lil Mo film, shouts out. But I met my boy Lil Mo. Now, if those of you that grew up back in the early 90s, you knew East Side didn't really mess with the South Side. So Mo from the South Side, at the time, I'm like, I'm not messing with this guy. I don't know this guy. But Mo ended up being one of my best friends. Me and Mo moved forward. We ended up taking a class called Building Green. What Building Green is, it's a 12-week course. It taught us how to do weatherization, how to go out and seal up homes. we took it real serious, but outside of that, we built a community. So it was 10 guys, we all came together, we from all different sides of towns, and we built a family. And this is through the organization called Green Space, which is where I work at now. Once we got through there, every last one of us graduated. We started with 10 and we ended with 10 because we had a dedication that we all gonna do whatever we gotta do to get past this. Long story short, what I'm doing now is I'm officially full-time with Green Spaces, and I go around the city of Chattanooga and I teach people how to save money on your utilities and light bills. Something I would have never thought I'd be doing a day in my life. Thank you. Outside of that, she mentioned Kayla, so I'm gonna speak a little bit more on Kayla, why that's passionate to me. When I first heard about it, I'm like, man, it's just another organization trying to help us in our community, ain't doing nothing. But Caleb is an organization of organization. And the number one thing I love about what Caleb is doing is called the Community Bail Fund. And the Community Bail Fund is set up to help those that cannot bail themselves out, bail out. And we bail people out right now to $5,000. We get referrals from the district attorney right now, well, the public defenders right now, until we move up. But that is one thing that we help stop the injustice of people going to jail that don't belong there. My case, I'll tell you straight up, all of mine, I pled guilty to it. If I did, I'm just being truthful, I pled guilty to it. If I did it, I did it, I didn't do it.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Thank you. But outside of that, I want to tell everybody, man, one thing I think about every day when I wake up, man, about is learning to be very unique in yourself, learning who you are. If you don't know who you are, how can you help anybody else move forward in their life? I think about that every day. I have to wake up and think about one person I can say we lost a big mogul. If you all don't know him, Nipsey Hussle. That's a guy that I really highly looked up to and what he did for his community. And I would like to say Nipsey Hussle was an amazing person. I idolized what he did in the city of LA. Facts. And that's some of the things that I want to be able to innovate and create. My organization that I want to create is called OBOC. Remember that. It's called Optimistic Brothers of Colors. And what that is I modeled that from an organization from Homeboys Industries that's located in California that I went to visit. What Homeboys Industry does, they work with actual gang members. Not the whole gang, the gang members. Because the first thought is, you got to help somebody that wants to change. You can't help nobody that's not trying to change. So I believe in helping brothers that want to change in their life and show them something different by showing them skill sets, working with different brothers that want to do anything that so we teach them basic skill sets and how to go out here and be innovative in their community. So OBOC, guaranteed by 2020, OBOC gonna be off the ground. Optimistic Brothers of Colors. I'm gonna leave y'all with this one quote that I had looked up. It's by my brother Stokely Carmichael. It's just something that when I read it, that's just something that stuck with me. It says, it is a call for black people in the country to unite, to recognize their heritage, to build a sense of community. It is a call for black people to define their goals, to lead their own organizations. And if you see, that's what we have out here tonight. And all I tell you all, continue to prosper and continue to innovate your mind and never settle for less. Remember that. Thank you.